The NBA.com. This is John. This report is for the 12th of August, depending on who you talk to. It's apocalyptic day. Everything is going to break. The Earth's crust is shifting. We got a big solar eclipse later on. Blah, 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 blah. So, for Mighty Sunset, the eclipse comes through, and supposedly this is going to wreak havoc on everything and cause the Earth's crust to, slide amongst itself. So, um, as I've always said, end of the world, you buy. But I don't think that's the situation at this particular stage. We've got a pretty weak NBI white reading, so shorts aren't really active. We just don't have any buyers lifting things. That was the slight reduction yesterday, though we did see a transition here. DOC spread from a cyan moving above red, as well as green dipping below. We've got the pivot of red, so this could potentially lead to more effective selling, so to speak. Still in positive shakeout and rising, so we have to see that end. But that doesn't mean we don't get to see some nice fillback trade in between, and that's sort of what happened on the 50K. We'll see it when I pop it up that we basically just refilled the positive extreme. From an NQ standpoint, you can see that's just sideways. There's just no real super excitement. People are going to be drawing lines across here, making nice little flags. So they're all going to be looking for breakout moves. So that's where your technical analysis guys will be at from that standpoint. We got a wider spread from the DOC here from NQ standpoint, and its weakness has been clear, and the S&P is the only thing that's been keeping it alive. And again, oil's the problem. You're back over the 80s now, and Iran has clearly decided that they're in the driver's seat and really going to push hard for their terms. Will they get them? Uh, don't know that there are many other options at this particular stage other than some kind of catastrophic, battle. But we'll see how it plays out. Things have been pretty low key from the administration these last days, so and we'll see how that transitions. But this is definitely the wrong direction for oil and for an improvement in gas prices, inflation, all of it. From a global standpoint, it's far worse. They claim that they're still getting, over 10 plus million barrels a day out of the Strait. If that were the case, I think you'd have much lower numbers for oil, given that U.S. is at record production. Everybody else is squeezing as much as possible, and yet the reserves continue to decline. So you have to take what's being said with a grain of salt and actually look at the numbers. From a euro standpoint, they're still very excited because, they were going to spend through the nose for the war. That hasn't started yet, but they're going to make happen. And that is leading to this move of gold. And no surprise, we expect gold to go back up to the highs. Don't see there's only option to prevent that would be an implosion of oil prices back into the 50s or 40s. That's not on the forecast at this particular stage. So gold's got nowhere to go but up. What's interesting is that you don't see the correlation match between the crypto Bitcoin, and that's because it's having its own issues. Doesn't mean that other cryptos are, but this has certainly been a strain period for it. Crypto winter, so to speak, and I think that some of the drawdowns that took place, as well as some of the technical issues, have been the big problem. So when I talked about 50K and positive extreme, you're going to go all the way back right to here. And what day was that? That would have been this positive extreme here on, yeah, 7th. So we ended up with the big pop right there, and all we did was we refilled that. So that was your biggest positive extreme other than the red line that's already been outlined, which we already filled in. So unless we break down below, the next lower full range is all the way down to the 74 range. But you got a ton of them in between here. All these would be the next target ranges from within that. So that'll be easy to see as it comes in. Right now, you're in a buy configuration, though you have a bit of a short run going up through here, and that was the call for the move to zero. We didn't quite get to the zero, so that tends to be a bit more bullish. And we don't have that bullish configuration right now with the orange dip. Um, Green passing cyan right now on the DOC, so those are definitely bullish configurations at this early stage so far. And you can look at this within one screen here, 5K, super low volume. So that selling was at best just people not really active in the setup, though it was a pretty clean move from that 77.80 range, and we went all the way down into the 50 is where that was. So not a whole huge range, but still enough to get some action done. And you can see how tiny this up move is, pulling it back up. Didn't take a whole lot. That's not much volume to do that. So you get an idea. We're in that summer doldrums at this particular stage, and here in Italy at the 15th, you have what the Ferragosto, which everything shuts down and everyone's on vacation at that point. So it's just kind of funny that it all corresponds to the same time period, and we'll see if we all survive the eclipse, which we've done for millennia. So, someone's always got to say that this is the end. Never ends. It always cracks me up. Anyway, that's the long and the short of anything relevant. I will put it on the team chat. Have a good one. Trade well.